Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Anexeon YouTube channel. This webinar is about the MyPhone personal portal, the personal web portal that comes with each and every hosted PBX phone we offer. And if you have a phone on our hosted PBX network with a direct dial number, you have access to this web portal. The beauty is this web portal can be obtained either from your computer or from a tablet or from basically anything that has a web browser and can get onto the internet. To get started, the first thing we're going to want you to do is send us a quick email to set you up with a password. So just send an email to support@anexeon.com and just put MyPhone access or something like that. And please get me my login information for the MyPhone portal. Now our team will get that ticket and set you up with a password. Your username is always your 10-digit direct dial number on your phone, so but they'll probably send them both to you. And then from there, I'll show you how to log into the system. I'm going to go ahead and delete that email. So using your favorite web browser, it doesn't matter which one it is, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, they all work. You're just going to go to myphone.anexeon.com from anywhere. Again, this can be reached from a tablet or from anything with a web browser. So we're going to go to MyPhone, and it's going to take you to a login screen. And again, your login name is always your direct dial number. And then you're going to get a password from the guys when they send you back your password. And the first thing we're going to have you do is change that password. So this will load the web screen, and you'll see lots and lots of different tools you'll have for controlling your phone system. Basically, the first thing we want you to do is use these two fields right here to change your password. We want you to change it from the temporary they sent you to something strong. Please make it at least 8 characters, as it says, and should have these types of characters in it: an uppercase, a lowercase, maybe a number, or a special character in there. The reason is there's lots of robots out there trying to hack into websites, and once they successfully get in, they send information to the criminals, and the criminals try and mess around with these websites. So always good on all of your websites to have a good strong password. So you would simply enter in your new password, whatever it might be, enter it in a second time, and make sure then you come up here and hit the red Save Changes button right here. That's important on every one of these screens. Nothing you do will save unless you hit that Save Changes button. Okay, so now let's go through a little of the screen here. You're going to notice there's some icons up here, and these are on-off icons and shortcuts. Basically, you're going to see that this one is sort of dark. That means I have call forward no answer turned on. Now, I like to have my desk phone ring a couple times, and if I don't answer it, it goes on to my cell. So I leave that on most all the time. Basically, let's start with the basic features menu here, and that's where that stuff is set up. So I have no answer, call forward no answer checked. I would put my cell phone there, or my home phone, or whatever number I want it to go through after I don't answer my phone for this many rings. You can set it for any of these settings here, okay? I recommend 3 if you're going to a cell phone. All right, now you'll notice if I click this button and turn it off, basically all that does is uncheck that box. It saves me from having to go to the basic feature screen, and then I can turn it back on just by clicking up here, and it rechecks that box. So that's a quick way of getting your desk phone to forward out to your cell phone. All right. We don't normally use selective forwarding in this next screen here. It allows you to do crazy things like only forward certain numbers to your cell phone and the rest of them don't forward. You basically put in a default number and save and build some rules on which phone numbers are allowed to forward. There's some instructions here. Not very many people use it, so I would recommend just skipping that. Do not disturb. You typically have this button on your phone as well, but you could also set Do Not Disturb here, which means all calls that come to your desk phone would go direct to voicemail. All right? These are 2 more we don't use very often. Again, it's who you want to accept calls from, and these can be dangerous if you don't set them up right. You can basically end up blocking all calls to your phone, so you don't want to do that. All right? Let's move on to advanced features here. All right? Under here, there are two settings we'll use. We don't use anywhere. Simultaneous ring. If you activate simultaneous ring and type in some phone numbers, basically what you're doing is you're saying every time my desk phone rings, I want all these other numbers to ring too. Now be careful of this. This can really get out of control, and if one of these is a cell phone number and the cell phone happens to get turned off, of course the cell phone's voicemail will immediately pick up the call and you won't even get it at your desk. So be real conscious about using simultaneous ring, okay? Again, if you set any of these up, make sure you hit the Save Changes button. Now Remote Office I'm going to come back to because it's a very powerful feature we use a lot here. Voicemail and unified messaging. Here is a really good one where you can set your voicemails, instead of going to the phone, to go to your email. And this is where you do it. Now, I want to explain the difference. These three checkboxes should remain just as they are. And this choice sends the voicemail to both your phone and your email. Now, I don't like that one because then I have to delete it from the email and then I still have to log into the phone and delete it from the phone as well. So I do not like using that one. I prefer to only send to my email address. So the phone does not get the voicemails. I don't get the blinking light. Basically, they all come to my email as a WAV file. I can get them on my iPhone or my Android or whatever, and I don't have to deal with being at the office to get them and dialing into the messages. So I choose this button here. Now, this bottom one is if you have an executive assistant. In your greeting, when you record your voicemail greeting, you can say, hello, this is so-and-so, I'm out of the office right now, please leave a message, or press 0 to reach my assistant, and then you would put your assistant's phone number right there, and if they press 0 during that greeting, they would get transferred to your assistant automatically. So that's what that does, all right? So basically that's your voicemail unified messaging screen. And you do have the ability of doing greetings here where you can actually record greetings and upload them. I prefer, it's easier to just do them on the phone themselves. Pick up your phone, hit the messages or voicemail button and go into the preferences and set your greetings right on the phone. Okay? Directories and speed dials. There's 4 tabs here. You'll use 3 of them. We don't recommend you use speed dial 100. Nobody can remember 100 speed dial numbers anyway. Here's a directory of everybody in your organization. I can click any one of these blue numbers and dial somebody directly. My phone will ring and I'll pick it up and it will connect me to that person. All right? There's a call history. So all of your calls in and out of your phone will always be here on the call history tab. And again, I can click any one of the blue phone numbers to dial it directly. Speed dial 8 is very handy. It's 8 speed dials. Basically, you can put in any number here, give it a label like home, and then another one here, and give it wife or husband or whatever you want to do. And then once you save this, all you'll do on your phone is hit 2 and then dial or send or whatever type of phone you have, and it'll immediately dial home or whatever that number is. So that's where you set those up. Again, make sure you hit Save Changes when you do this so it saves them. Speed dial 100, again, we don't use. There's just too many of them, and you have to activate these with a star code, which is more trouble than it's worth. So I recommend just doing the speed dial 8, which is a very quick 1-button speed dial that we really like. If you have been assigned as a conference bridge administrator, and there's normally only a few in each company, you have the ability, this tab will show up, and you have the ability to create one-time conference bridges on your bridge, reservationless ones, which means it's just an open bridge that's available all the time, or recurring ones, which means like if you have a sales meeting every Tuesday morning at 10, you can have a bridge that becomes available from 10 to 11 every Tuesday morning, and it will, once you generate it, once you add a conference, like if I say add a conference and I give it a title and I say this is a one-time, so I'm going to say meeting, and I don't need the account code. I don't really need estimated participants, but I'll put 10 there. I can restrict it if I want. I can make it end the conference when the moderator departs. I can say the moderator is required to start the conference. I don't normally do that. What happens when an attendees join, whether you want them to record their name or just play a tone. what time and date the conference starts, and how long it will last. Now, the minute I hit add, it will then give me that conference, and then I can drill back in. So there it is. It's one called meeting, and then if I drill back into it, I can then see the codes that it created down here that I can send out to the participants. So I would basically send, this is the moderator, so this would be you, and that's the phone number you would dial. Yours will be different, and then that's the PIN it will give you. And this is what you would give out to all your conference participants. You'd give out that phone number and that conference ID. So that's how it works. All right. I'm going to go back to the list of my conferences, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that one because I really don't need it. All right. So preferences is where you can get into some preferences. It allows you to do that same password change right here, where you can change the password to this website just like it did on the account page. We won't use these fields down here. They're for some other integrations that we don't actually use. There's some help available. Now let's come back to that remote office function that is so nice. Remote office is the ability to make any phone in the world be your remote office. So basically, let's say I decide I want to work from home today. All I need to do is type in my home phone number right here. So I would type it in and hit enable and save. Or I can enable it up here as well. Let's see, it's there it is. I would hit that button and it would check the box for me either way. And the minute I do that, all calls to my desk phone will ring my home phone. Now this can be a home phone, a remote office you're working out of. It can even be your cell phone. So if you just want to work off your cell. So basically every time my desk phone rings, my cell phone will ring instead. Now the real nice thing about this is this dial field right here allows me to type in a number. And basically once I type in that number and hit the dial button, the system will call me at this number, and the minute I answer it, the system will dial that number using the caller ID of your business, not your cell or your home, and then it will connect the two of us together. So again, you type in a phone number you want to dial, hit the dial button, and the system will call this number, which is whether it's your cell or your home or whatever you've put in there. Then when you answer, it will call them and connect you together, and they will only see the caller ID of your business, not your home or cell. All right? Now the important thing is when you get back to your office, you need to remember to turn that off, or every time somebody rings your desk phone, that number is going to ring instead and you won't get your call. So you just have to remember to turn remote office off when you're finished with it. Very, very powerful feature. I hope this has helped. These are just some shortcuts up here to get to those various screens I was telling you about, the directory, the call history screen, and then your speed dial 8. Your call forward, no answer, call forward, busy, things you want to do, do not disturb. These are just quick on-off buttons up here. And the simultaneous ring, which I don't use very often. I actually prefer call forward, no answer. I'd rather it ring my desk phone 3 times, then come to my cell, rather than ring everything all at the same time. All right, I hope that's been helpful for you. Enjoy the portal. There's another video out there on the iPhone and Android app that does almost all these exact same things right from your Android or iPhone.